3 years ago, none of us could have imagined all that would take place here in our community and across the world when we created the Center for Economic Inclusion to help leaders and institutions address the stagnant income and wealth inequality impacting our communities and specifically impacting communities of color. Yet we knew that businesses and policymakers needed change, and we needed that change to occur urgently. Today, that change has begun to occur because of the work that we've been able to do with your investment and with your partnership. And today, as we celebrate our 3-year anniversary at the Center for Economic Inclusion, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for your investment. I want to thank you for your solidarity and your commitment that it is possible to close stagnant income and racial disparities, that it is possible to close them with a specific focus on helping business leaders, employers, and policymakers address systemic racism and replace those policies that have not worked in our communities and our businesses with new racially inclusive policies and practices and behaviors that can foster inclusion and belonging. I want to thank you for your commitment to relentlessly pursuing an economy that truly does work for everyone. As our team has grown at the Center for Economic Inclusion, we've also begun deploying new consulting policies and practices, new ways of operating to support businesses, to support local and regional and state governmental entities, and those practices are working. We've continued to accelerate the pace of change, to change the narrative, and we see that almost every entity, every foundation, every business across the region is now using the language of centering Black, Indigenous, and communities of color, centering racial equity, and advancing an economy that works for everyone by moving forward with economic inclusion. We are grateful for this change, and yet we will not rest. There's a fierce urgency of now that we all must take up. We cannot rest on our laurels because we have not even made real progress in closing those stagnant income and wealth gaps, and too many families are waiting for us all to take deeper action, and we're committed to that action. So we thank you for your investment, and we ask you to stay with us. Continue to invest your time, your talent, and your resources in the work that we're doing together. Continue to invest that in mobilizing and community building and systemic change, because it will take all of these things in order to make the community that we all believe in and that we all need. Thank you for your partnership. We're in it together.